Good day, everyone. I am Julina Manzano Alabanza, BIT4A, major in Food and Service Management. Today, we will talk about plant layout and plant location. In the previous topic, we have learned about how basic shop layout is designed and what are the basic factors to consider in designing such floor plan. This lesson deals with various aspects of plant location and layout. Investment in analyzing the aspects of plant location and appropriate plant layout can help a business achieve economic efficiencies in business operations. These decisions lay the foundation of the business of small businesses and maybe big business. So every entrepreneur is faced with the problem of deciding the best site of location of his or their plant or factory. So first, what is plant layout? It is a plan for effective utilization of facilities for the manufacture of products involving a most efficient and economical arrangement of machines, materials, personnel, storage space, and all supporting services within available floor space. According to James Lundy a layout involves the allocation of space and arrangement of equipment in such a manner that overall operating costs are minimized. It means that it all falls down into one specific goal of the organization, minimizing costs. These costs are usually used in the operation of the business. So, plant layout can be defined as a technique of locating machines, processes, and plant services within the factory. So, as to achieve the greatest possible output of high quality at the lowest possible total cost of a manufacturing. So, these are the followings are the example of cost used in operation. First is rent. Rent costs are usually fixed. Rent means this is a periodic payment made by a tenant to the owner for the use of owner's property. The second one is machines and equipment. Some machines and equipment requires electricity or other resources for it to work and maintain. Um, it means the machinery and equipment used by a manufacturer. Machinery is any mechanical, electrical, or electronic device designed and used to perform some function and to produce a certain effect or result. The next is utilities. Utilities cost in using utilities such as electricity, water, waste disposals, heating, and sewage, and etc. So, ito po yung ginagamit natin for our everyday living. So, the fourth one is materials. Material costs are used to produce a product. So, excluded po dito from the material cost is all indirect materials such as cleaning supplies used in the productions process. Next is parts. Parts are also materials to produce a product. It is also used for after sales such as repair and maintenance of machines and equipment. So part cost means with respect to each spare part or consumable part, an amount equal to manufacturer's standards cost of components and other parts used in such spare part or consumable part. The next one is maintenance and repair. Cost to maintain the service of a machine and equipment. So repairs are restoration for work when an asset breaks, gets damaged, or stops working. So in maintenance refers to routine activities and or corrective or preventive repair done on assets to prevent damage and prolong the life expectancy. So next is front and delivery, cost of transformation, delivery from the point of the warehouse to the last end consumer. So here, front is a particular type of delivery service that delivers large items and more quantities of an item or multiple items from one location to another. It is the most cost-effective way of shipping locally or crosses the country. The last but not the least example of cost used in the operation is manpower. Manpower cost for the salary of manpower and for their training. These are the number of people working or available for work or service. So let's proceed for objectives of plant layout. So here are the objectives of plant layout. Minimize material handling, facilitate manufacturing progress by maintaining balance in the processes, maintain flexibility of arrangement and of operation, maintaining high turnover of in-process inventory, effective utilization of men, equipment, and space. The next is increase employee morale minimize interference from machines, and the last, reduce hazard affecting employees. Importance of plant layout. The layout of plant is quite important in view of the above definition, but the importance of layout is may greatly vary from the industry to industry. To attain the best possible layout, it should be proportional to the following factors. So the first factors is weight, volume, and mobility. So the weight, volume, and mobility of the product is considered a factor since it may require industrial machines and equipment to move such heavy and large amounts of goods. It may also require large amount of laborers to ensure productivity. So weight is determined by the heaviness or mass of the particular item and is measured with use of a scale. So, in volume naman is the amount of space that an item you are measuring takes up. It's common measurement in food recipes and the recipes where ratios are more important than precision. While in mobility is the ability to move or be moved freely and easily. The second one is length of the process in relation to handling time. So this is the importance since the goal of a good plant layout is to minimize handling time in manufacturing goods, less handling of material, and good because it improves productivity. With the help of average handle time, you can reduce cost, plan staffing levels, and analyze employee performance. It is also an effective metric for establishing benchmarks or new customer service goal. And last, the extent to which the process tends towards mass production. Adopting mass production will always depend on the product's function. It is a basic need that has high demand such as canned goods, noodles, etc. With the use of automatic machines in industries for adopting mass production system of manufacturing, the volume of product will increase. So in mass production is the manufacturing of the same standardized product lines for prolonged period of time. It uses automation or assembly lines to facilitate the high volume production of similar products. So mass production is synonymous with continuous flow production or series reduction. So there are problems in plant layout management. It may arise when there are design changes in the product. There is an expansion of the enterprise. There is a proposed variation in the size of the departments. Next is some new products is to be added to the existing line. Some new department is to be added to enterprise, and there is reallocation of the existing department. And last is a new plant is to be set up. Next is a manufacturing considerations. To obtain an overall view of manufacturing considerations in plant design production, processes can be grouped into three general classification. The first is layout by product. The equipment is laid up according to sequence of operations. The materials start at head of the line and is moved progressively to adjacent machines until completion of the item at the end of the line. Here, in manufacturing engineering, a product layout refers a production system where the workstations and equipment are located along the line of production. As with assembly lines, usually works units are moved along line by a conveyor. Work is done in a small amount at each of the workstations on the line. Next is layout by operation for job layout manufacture. There is intermittent flow of materials, thus machines are grouped according to the type of operations they perform. So here, common process layout examples are restaurants, clothing factories, clothing accessories, facilities, and toy factories. The product layout or line layout uses an assembly line where workers and equipment are arranged in order of production sequence. The third one is layout, or the last one is layout by stationary material, primarily or fixed position layout. In return, the flexibility of the basic product while capturing the flow and handling advantages of product lines whatever possible. Here in a fixed position layout, the project remains in one place and workers equipments come to that one work area. Example of this type of project are a ship, highway, a bridge, a house, and an operating table in hospital operating room. So, plant buildings. There are two main types of buildings: the single-story building and the multi-story building. In single-story building, it has a fewer columns. In servicing, equipment can be installed in overhead trusses that permits greater flexibility in terms of plant layout. So, it can provide more illumination, easier to expand by simply moving a wall, gives greater floor loading capacity with less vibration and requirements lighter foundation, permits easier handling and the routing of materials, and last, the facilities supervision. While in multi-story building, it has more levels that permits greater flexibility in terms of plant layout. So here it is a efficient use of land space, results in lower cost of construction, lower heating cost, and a possibility of vertically arranged production areas, or a so-called compact layout. So in plant location, so what is plant location? It is the choice of region or place where people, money, materials, machinery, and equipments are brought together in setting up a business. It is a place where the cost of the product is kept too low in order to maximize gains. Identifying an ideal location is very crucial. It should always maximize its assets, minimize its cost, especially for the unit cost of production and distribution. Plant location decision is important because once plant is located at a particular site, then the business must face the advantages and disadvantages of the initial decision. So, plant location refers to the choice of region and selection of particular site for setting up a business or factory. But the choice is made only after considering cost and benefits of different alternative sites. It is a strategic decision that cannot be changed once taken. So, what is an ideal location? An ideal location is one where the cost of the product is kept to minimum, with a large market share, at the least risk, and the maximum social gain. It is the place of maximum net advantage, or which gives lowest unit cost of production and distribution. For achieving this objective rather, a small-scale entrepreneur can make use of location analysis for this propose a conception of something that is perfect, especially that which one seeks to attain. So these are the factors affecting plant location. First is selection of region. In selection of region, it considered the proximity to the market, proximity to the necessary materials, availability of transportation facilities, adequacy of public and private services, climate conditions. So we need to consider that because location plays a huge role in attracting and retaining best employees, many of whom keep close eye on where they're based in order to optimize work-life balance. Good location decisions can significantly boost a company's long-term performance. Poor ones can cost millions in lost talent, productivity, and capital. So that is very important. The next one is election of particular community. So here, the community selection is the process of objectively explaining examining multiple locations where a sanitation intervention may be implemented to benefits both the community and the environment. So, these are the things that need to consider para magkaroon ng magandang outcome ang business or the factory. First is labor supply, wage scales, other enterprises in the community, favorable living conditions, favorable living the third one is selection of the exact plant sites. Ang kailangan naman natin consider is the land, transportation, zoning restrictions, fire protection, and the waste disposal. This is very important to consider in building business because this is for our protection and safety during we're in a business location. Next is trends in plant location. The location trends have changed substantially due to the different, development of substitute raw materials, network of electrifications, and transportation by roads and railway, mobility of the labor, or persuasive and compulsive policies of the government for balanced regional development. So the first one is tendency to locate away from city. Plant sites are usually located away from the cities because of the reason of government policies and the less opportunity of expansion or of lot areas, businesses usually locate it at suburban areas because of low assessment and tax rates, larger and areas, and the travel time is less because city traffic may cause delay. If you are a business-minded, this is one to consider. Must be wise in a building business, and the convenience of target market and the employees must also be considered when it comes to transporting. The next is the centralization of industries. Here, under the conscious industrial policy of the government, concentration of industrial units is prevented through licensing policy. On account of improved transport, distant markets can be approached and distant sources of raw materials stopped. The industry need not be located near the market or near the raw materials. If there are other more important advantages elsewhere, thus industry gets decentralized. The third one is swing towards planned industrial centers. Business tend to locate planned site in industrial centers or parks because it encourages investors control the site preparation and land used for the manufacturing industries or investors. It also provides orderly and attractive community of manufacturing. The fourth one is growing competition for industry. For this trend, in plant location, communities tend to give free plant areas to encourage manufacturing industries to invest to them. Communities even innovate and create quality infrastructures. They also offer the construction of the plant site itself and assume its taxes and insurance. This is not only for the residents but also to persuade more investors to locate their plant sites to the on that certain community. Here in industry competition includes businesses that sell a similar product or services. So if you are starting an online clothing store, your industry is digital retail. If your competitors are other online apparel companies, so that is the one of the example. The next is locational analysis. Locational analysis is a dynamic process where entrepreneur analyzes and compares the appropriateness and otherwise of alternative sites with the aim of selecting best sites for a given enterprise. It consists the following. Next is demographic analysis. It involves study of population in the area in terms of total population, age composition, per capita income, educational level, occupational structures, and etc. In demographic analysis or DA is a method used to evaluate the quality of the census. We use current and historical vital records, data on international immigrations, and Medicare records to produce national statement of the population. And is trade area analysis. It is an analysis of the geographic area that provides continued client to the firm. He would also see the feasibility of accessing the trade area from alternative sites. Trade area analysis is studying and understanding trade activity within a given geographical area. This includes things like what types of businesses are there and how many, along with how many potentials customers are in the area, where they are coming from, and what they are buying. The third one is competitive analysis. It helps to judge the nature, location, size, and quality of competition in a given trade area. Here, competitive analysis in marketing and strategic management is an assessment of the strengths and weaknesses of current and potential competitors. This analysis provided both an offensive and defensive strategic context to identify opportunities and threats. The fourth one is traffic analysis. To have a raw idea about the number of potential customers passing by the proposed sites during the working hours of the shop, the traffic analysis aims at judging the alternative sites in terms of pedestrian and vehicular traffic passing a site. Here, traffic analysis is the process of intercepting and examining messages in order to deduce information from patterns in communication. It can be performed even with the message or encrypted. In general, the greater the number of messages observed, the greater information be inferred. The fifth one, or the last one, is site economics. Alternative sites are evaluated in terms of establishment cost in operational cost. Under this cost of establishment is basically cost incurred for permanent physical facilities, but operational costs are incurred for running business on day-to-day basis. They are also called as running cost. So here, economics is the study of scarcity and its implementations for the use of resources, productions of goods and services, growth of production and welfare over time, and a great variety of other complex issues of vital concern to society. So that is all for plant layout and plant location. Thank you. Again, I am Julina Manzano Alabanza, a Bachelor of Industrial Technology student.